Every year, millions of Americans pack a truck, sell a house, or quit a lease and start over in a state they've never lived in before. Some are chasing lower taxes. Some are running from insurance premiums that double overnight. Some just want their kids in a better school district. But almost none of them are looking at the actual data before they move. So today, we're ranking the 15 best states to live in America heading into 2027, using the most current, most rigorously sourced state-by-state data available. U.S. News and World Report's Best States Rankings, which evaluate all 50 states across 71 metrics spanning healthcare, education, economy, infrastructure, opportunity, fiscal stability, crime and corrections, and natural environment. This is the newest confirmed edition of that index, still standing as the current national benchmark going into the new year. Some names on this list will surprise you. One state that dominates headlines for its economy barely cracks the top 6. Another state most people couldn't find on a map just beat out states 3 times its size. And the state sitting at number 1 has now held that spot for multiple years running, for reasons that have almost nothing to do with luck. We're counting down from 15 to 1. Stay to the end because the number 1 state's winning formula is not what you'd expect. Before we get into the rankings, if you're the kind of person who actually wants to know where things stand before making a decision this big, hit subscribe. Every year, these numbers shift, sometimes by a lot, and we'll be tracking every state that rises, every state that falls, and exactly why. So subscribe now, turn on notifications, and let's get into it. Number 15 is Connecticut. Connecticut made one of the biggest jumps of the year, climbing from 20th place all the way to 15th. The state's economy is quietly one of the most concentrated in America. Connecticut holds the nation's top spot for Fortune 1000 companies per capita, with a rate of 6.8 per capita. Break down Connecticut's scorecard and the picture gets more complicated. The state ranks 3rd in the nation for healthcare, 8th for economy, 8th for crime and corrections, and 10th for education. Its public schools are elite. Connecticut ranks 2nd in the country for public school quality, behind only New York. But Connecticut's weaknesses are just as extreme as its strengths. Fiscal stability sits at 48th in the country, and opportunity ranks 43rd. Translation: incredible schools and healthcare, brutal state finances, and a shrinking sense that the average resident can actually get ahead. That combination is exactly why Connecticut is 15 and not higher. Number 14 is Iowa, and this one is a warning sign. Iowa slid from 6th place all the way down to 14th in a single year. The drop came largely from a weakening economy and job growth, along with a rising infant mortality rate and declining air quality. That's the risk of ranking states. Nothing is permanent. Iowa still has real strengths. The state's unemployment rate sat at just 3.20% in May 2026, and its cost of living remains one of the lowest in the country. Geographically, Iowa is unique. It's the only state in America bordered by 2 parallel rivers, the Mississippi to the east and the Missouri to the west. But a state that fell 8 spots in 12 months tells you something every mover needs to hear. Don't just check where a state ranked last year. Check where it's heading. Number 13 is North Carolina, and this is one of the fastest risers on the entire list. North Carolina jumped from 19th place in the prior year all the way to 13th, one of the 2 biggest leaps in the country. The engine behind that climb is the economy. North Carolina now ranks 7th in the nation for its economy and 5th for economic growth. The Research Triangle has turned the state into one of the fastest growing tech and biotech corridors in the South, pulling in companies and workers from higher-cost coastal states. Geographically, North Carolina is almost 3 states in one, 300 miles of Atlantic coastline on one end, the Appalachian Mountains on the other, and a booming Piedmont region of cities in between. That range of landscape, paired with an economy accelerating faster than almost anywhere else in the country, is exactly why this state is climbing, and why it likely won't stop at 13. Number 12 is North Dakota, and it wins on a category most rankings ignore completely: childcare. No state does better than North Dakota when it comes to the availability of affordable childcare. The state has 478 licensed childcare centers for a population of fewer than 800,000 people. The average cost comes out to just 9% of median household income for a working family, roughly half of what families pay in the most expensive states. That's not a small detail. For any young family running the numbers on where to relocate, childcare costs can rival a monthly rent payment. North Dakota also benefits from a resource-rich economy. Energy and agriculture keep unemployment low and government budgets healthy. The trade-off is obvious: sparse population, brutal winters, and a lot of open space between towns. But if your priority is raising a family without a 5-figure annual daycare bill, North Dakota just quietly outperforms almost every state above it on this list. Number 11 is Colorado, a state that is genuinely one strong year away from cracking the top 10. Colorado ranked 15th in 2023, dropped to 16th in 2024, then surged to 11th the following year, just barely missing the top 10. Colorado's academic and economic numbers are elite. The state ranks 3rd in the nation for education, 6th for economy, and 9th for healthcare. But its public safety numbers are the worst of any state in this entire top 15. Colorado ranks 47th in the country for crime and corrections, and 43rd for fiscal stability. So here's the tension that defines Colorado: incredible schools, a booming economy, mountains most states would kill for, and a crime and corrections ranking that puts it in the bottom 5 nationally. It's proof that a state can be brilliant on paper and still have a serious blind spot. Number 10 is Washington, a state that spent years at the very top of this ranking before sliding to its current position. Washington was ranked the best state to live in from 2019 through 2022, driven largely by clean energy and public health outcomes. Nearly half of Washington's energy comes from renewable sources, primarily hydroelectric and wind power. And the state boasts one of the lowest levels of premature death in the country, alongside a life expectancy of 80 years. That's not a coincidence. Washington's outdoor culture and clean air advantage translate directly into longer, healthier lives. Seattle's tech economy remains one of the strongest job engines on the West Coast, and the state charges no personal income tax. The cost, quite literally, is housing. Seattle area real estate ranks among the most expensive on the entire West Coast, which is the single biggest reason Washington has slipped from number 1 to number 10 over the past several years. Number 9 is Massachusetts, and this state has arguably the best healthcare system in the entire country. Massachusetts is America's healthiest state, driven in part by having more primary care physicians per capita than any other state. Only 3% of Massachusetts residents report having no health insurance at all, and the state posts the lowest premature death rate in the nation. Education tells the same story. Massachusetts has the best-ranked school system in the country, with roughly a 90% high school graduation rate and the second highest median household income in America at over $101,000. But dig into infrastructure, and the story flips completely. A 2021 assessment found a quarter of Massachusetts roads were in poor condition, 9% of its bridges were structurally deficient, and 328 of its dams carried high hazard potential. Add in one of the highest costs of living in the country, and you get a state that will give your family world-class healthcare and schools, while your commute slowly falls apart underneath you. Number 8 is South Dakota, and by one specific measure, it's actually the best state in the entire country. South Dakota posted the highest quality of life score of any state in the nation, 232 out of 290 possible points, earning an A+ grade. South Dakota charges no state income tax, has one of the lowest costs of living in America, and its overall population density means short commutes and minimal traffic. The state jumped into the top 10 for the first time in recent memory, climbing from 11th place to 8th. The catch is scale. South Dakota's population is under 1 million people spread across a massive footprint, which means fewer major job markets and a smaller pool of specialized healthcare and cultural amenities than the coastal and northeastern states above it. But for pure day-to-day quality of life at the lowest possible cost, South Dakota is punching well above its ranking. Number 7 is Vermont, a state that dominates one category more than any other state in America: opportunity. Vermont ranks number 1 in the nation for opportunity and 4th for crime and corrections. Vermont's crime rates are consistently among the lowest in the country. Its air and water quality routinely rank in the top 10 nationally, and the state's small-town culture means residents genuinely know their neighbors, something that shows up in nearly every quality of life survey taken there. The trade-off is cost. Vermont has some of the highest property tax burdens in New England, and its rural geography means limited access to major airports, specialized medical centers, or large employers outside of a handful of population hubs. It's a state built for people who value safety and community over convenience and salary. Number 6 is Florida, and this is the state most Americans assume should be number 1. On paper, the economic case is enormous. Florida's GDP topped $1.1 trillion, which would rank it as roughly the 15th wealthiest nation on Earth if it were an independent country. And the state added over 500,000 jobs in a single year, a 6% increase. Florida also charges no state income tax, and its higher education system consistently ranks as one of the most affordable and accessible in the nation. But Florida's ranking gets dragged down hard once you look past the headline numbers. The state ranks among the worst in the country for housing affordability and income equality, landing 47th nationally for opportunity. Home insurance premiums have surged in high-risk coastal counties, and property values in popular metro areas have outpaced wage growth for years. So, Florida's paradox is simple: one of the strongest economies in America, wrapped around one of the least affordable housing and insurance markets for the people actually trying to live there. Number 5 is Nebraska, a state that rarely makes anyone's dream list, and that might be exactly its secret weapon. Nebraska ranks first in the nation for infrastructure, meaning better roads, broadband, and energy reliability than any other state in America. Public health numbers back that up. No state had fewer drug-related deaths per capita in 2023 than Nebraska, at just 8.7 deaths per 100,000 people. The state also maintains some of the strictest non-smoking regulations in the country, alongside some of the best air quality ratings nationally. Nebraska isn't glamorous. It won't show up on anyone's travel bucket list, but short commutes, reliable infrastructure, clean air, and a genuinely low cost of living add up to a state where day-to-day stress simply stays lower than almost anywhere else in the country. Number 4 is Minnesota, and this is consistently ranked one of the best states in America to raise a family. Minnesota stands out for its excellent healthcare, low poverty rate, strong early education, and high-performing K-12 schools, home to the Mayo Clinic and one of the most respected hospital systems on the planet. Minnesota's poverty rate sits around 9%, well below the national average, and the state earns a near-perfect score from Oxfam America for protecting workers' rights to organize. Twin Cities job markets remain strong across healthcare, finance, and technology. Minnesota's biggest weakness is its economy category specifically. Heavier tax burdens funding those social programs mean the state ranks closer to the middle of the pack for pure economic growth. But for families prioritizing schools, healthcare, and worker protections over lower taxes, Minnesota is close to unbeatable. Number 3 is Idaho, and this is the fastest rising major state in the entire top 10. Idaho moved up to 3rd place, passing Nebraska, driven by its fast-growing and expanding economy. The state covers an area twice the size of all 6 New England states combined, giving residents an almost unheard-of ratio of space to population. Wages in Idaho have risen faster than the national average over the past 5 years, pulling in remote workers and young families from higher-cost West Coast states. The trade-off is real, though. That same population boom has driven housing costs up sharply in the fastest-growing metro areas like Boise, partially offsetting the wage gains for new arrivals. Idaho combines genuine economic momentum with mountains, rivers, and small-town access to nature that states twice its population simply can't offer. It's the one state on this list that could realistically be number 1 within the next few years. Number 2 is New Hampshire, a state that has been a fixture near the top of this ranking every single year since 2017. The reason is safety. New Hampshire has one of the lowest incarceration rates in the country, just 197 per 100,000 people, compared to a national average of 359, and its property crime rate runs at roughly half the national average. Air quality tells the same story. While the national average was 104 unhealthy air quality days per year, New Hampshire experienced just 14, and New Hampshire charges neither a state income tax nor a general sales tax, a rare combination that keeps take-home pay high without gutting public services. The catch is property taxes, which rank among the highest in the country to make up for the missing income and sales tax. It's a trade most residents there are more than happy to make. And that brings us to number 1, Utah, holding the top spot for the 3rd consecutive year, and it isn't close. Utah ranked 1st in the nation for fiscal stability, 3rd for both economy and infrastructure, 4th for education, 7th for crime and corrections, 14th for healthcare, and 19th for opportunity. What makes Utah different is that it doesn't just win in one category, it's consistently strong across almost all 8. Utah posted the lowest smoking rate in the entire country, at just 6%, while its 8th grade students posted the 4th highest math scores nationally. The state's economy has diversified far beyond its mining and agricultural roots into tech, tourism, healthcare, and energy, giving it one of the most resilient job markets in America. Utah isn't perfect. Its natural environment ranking sits near the bottom of the country, weighed down by pollution in the Salt Lake Valley. But when a state performs in the top 10 for 5 out of 8 major categories at once, 3 years running, it's not luck. It's a system that's working. And that's why, heading into 2027, Utah remains the number 1 best state to live in America. So that's the list. From Connecticut's brilliant but broke finances at number 15, all the way up to Utah's remarkably consistent dominance at number 1. Notice what's missing entirely from the top 15. No California, no Texas, no New York. The biggest economies and the biggest populations are not the same thing as the best places to actually live. If you're planning a move for 2027, the lesson isn't go to whichever state ranked highest. It's this: figure out which 2 or 3 categories actually matter for your life: safety, schools, healthcare, taxes, and then find the state that wins on those specifically. Sometimes that's the state at number 1. Sometimes it's the one at number 12 that nobody's talking about yet. If this list changed how you're thinking about your next move, or even just confirmed you're already living in the right place, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. We put these rankings together so you don't have to dig through hundreds of pages of data yourself, and the only way we keep doing that is with you along for the ride. Drop a comment and let us know. Did your state make the list? Did it rank where you expected? We read everyone. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. That means a lot. We'll see you in the next one.